Hi, friends and fellow Earth Angels. It's Gladys, and welcome back to another one of my weekly Sunday card readings. And this spread will start by covering July 26th to August 1st, or whenever you're guided to watch, as I always intend these to be timeless readings, meaning you can come back at any time to receive guidance and insight regardless of the date or the timestamp. So, I'm thrilled to talk about this new energy that's opening up for us. I feel like many of us have been in the twilight zone or feeling like we've been sleepwalking. We just shifted from my beloved Cancer energy, and now we've opened up into Leo fire energy. Fire's like my opposite, so I am so water dominant that when fire energy comes in, for me it's like very soothing. It kind of like softens my emotional energy and ignites a passion, a fire within me. So I don't know about you, but I could sit by a fire for hours and hours and hours. So we also have been activated in this Lionsgate portal energy, earth angels, spiritual beings, people who have been doing inner work, growth, expansion, and shifting. So the new moon in Cancer, that was July 20th, started to open up this energy. It activated on July 25th, so yesterday, and it will be at its peak on August 8th, 8/8, and it will close out on August 12th. So we've got a couple of weeks to really create with this dynamic energy. It's very powerful and spiritual activations. I'm not going to talk too much about it because I want to get into the reading, but definitely if this is intriguing, if you've been feeling sleeplessness, if you've been feeling connections with people from your past, if you've been feeling or experiencing insomnia, downloads, if you've been seeing the world from a different perspective, heightened intuition, wanting that activation of empowerment or creative downloads or just confusion, all of it. Honor the space that you're in, knowing that there's a lot happening, especially with the collective consciousness more awake than ever before. We've been moving into experiencing life in a new way. The way we experience money, the way we experience friendships, the way we experience work, values, partnerships, friendships are all in a completely new vibration. So this week, I'm going to utilize that Lionsgate portal of energy, and I'm going to work with the Keepers of the Light this week. And additional messages from the Soul's Journey lesson cards. Because so many of you Earth Angels are shifting in purpose, I'm going to see what is opening up for you or what is being activated within you with the Life Purpose cards. What's transitioning for you with life changes with the Butterfly Oracle cards, and then we'll finish up with flower therapy. So guidance this week. So I wanted to hold space for an inquiry question. On the whole, so I'm using a bunch of different decks. And so my inquiry question, as I open up space for this reading, will be: what soul message or activation are you ready to receive, hear, or feel as we open up into this portal of energy, this portal of creative, high vibrational, spiritual energy? Again, if you're being guided to be still, if you're being guided, it's very hot here in New England. I believe it's hot all across the country here. And the weather has been intense in other parts of the world as well. So, here in the summer months, it's time to slow down, be still, sleep, rest, recharge. in that, you open up to depths of wisdom in the silence, in the stillness. So again, what soul activation or messages are you receiving for this Lionsgate portal? Let me open space, inviting in all your guardian angels and guides, the archangels, the ascended masters, God, source, creator of the universe, the divine mother, and all their holy beings of light who would like to assist. Keepers of the light. And I'm going to ask that the messages that come through be for your best and highest good and the best and highest good of all concerned. All right, friends. So let's begin. What? Oh, well, that's too many. That's 4. That's too many. All right. I know you got a lot to say. I know I can go on, but let's narrow it down. All right. What is the guide this week as we move into this Lionsgate energy? There it is. All right. Lord Shiva, Transcendence. Yes, yes, yes. Shiva, very masculine energy. A lot of the masculine, feminine dynamics out there, the pictures out there, it depicts the feminine energy in blue and the masculine energy in water, and then the masculine energy in like orange, which is like fire. And of course, Shiva comes in with this transcendence. We're needing to settle into the fact that we're not going to go back to the way things were. That the way we receive guidance, insight, the way we move in the world, the way we create inspired action in the world is going to be different. So there's a lot of uncertainty and there's a lot of unknown. So people's fears are being activated, and that consciousness of darkness is moving through that as well. So we're here on this planet to transcend that energy, to transmute it and transform it. And the way to do that is through our own activations, through our own shifting in our own vibration. It's not how we fix, save, change, and make better for the world. It's how we heal our wounds, our inner child wounds, how we heal the inner father, inner mother, how we activate these parts of us, this inner wisdom within us. And in that, it transforms the energy that's around us. So Lord Shiva, his message says, rise up, honor your inner force. It says steps are being given, dance with the universe. I love it. And it's interesting because it almost feels like there's no more that you need to do. And it's how you become empowered to be the essence of who you were meant to be on this planet. Rise up. Honor your inner force. Steps are being given. Dance with the universe. And I've been talking about the last few weeks how this shadow and light and the healing and the play and the laughter, the divine masculine, the divine feminine, how we work through these energies is like a dance. It doesn't have to be. It's painful and transformative, and it's liberating and creates new levels of freedom within us. So I want to read more a little about Lord Shiva here. I just want to melt into this energy. Let's see here. Hello, Lord Shiva. So, let's see, is there a message about him? Let me see here. Shiva is one of India's trinity of male god figures. He's depicted wearing a cobra around his neck, representing his capacity to tame fear or the ego, surrounded by stars, showing his connection to the cosmos, and holding a trident, acknowledging the 3 aspects of the divine masculine power in India: creator, preserver, and destroyer. It's no coincidence that I also was guided to bring in Ganesha, the remover of obstacles as we move into this, I want to say warrior spirit, but I'm not thinking about the warrior who's fighting. It's the warrior who shows up and knows the power and the essence that flows through them. Lord Shiva is known as the destroyer because of his warrior-like energy and ability to destroy fear. He is a facet of the Divine Father energy and offers parental protection, support, and guidance. I love it. He's also acknowledged as the cosmic dancer because he helps coordinate the interaction between Earth and the cosmos. He has the capacity to help move beyond the fear of failure and into clarity and connection. Friends, I'm telling you, I've been talking a lot about the divine feminine energy and activating that receptivity, activating that magnetism, the softness, the openness, the manifesting energy. And now here we are, just dropping into Leo energy in this lion's gate of fire, right? And Lord Shiva shows up in his masculinity. Yes. Yes, yes. And this is why it makes sense why I was guided to pull the purpose cards, because a lot of you, your passion is going to be ignited. You know, we've been kind of held back. It's almost like, when I'm ready for this, I want to do this. Divine timing has been playing a role in the key. As much as we want to shoot out of the gate and run as fast as we can, we've been taught to pace ourselves, right? A few weeks ago, I mentioned that I wanted to do this life purpose reading, a pick a card reading, and I'm realizing I gotta stop saying I'm gonna do things, because then when I'm thinking I want to do it, the divine timing is not it's not the divine timing. So many of you, and myself included, you're seeing that I get downloads, I get these ideas, but when the time comes, it's almost like, nope, not yet, nope, not yet. And then when they come out, or when I do them, they're so impactful and so powerful that it makes sense why I was guided to wait. So it's the same thing. You may have gotten ideas, you may have started things, you might be like, oh, I want to do this, but I can't, I don't have the energy, I need to sleep, I'm so tired, I need to rest. Electronics kind of are still going. My refrigerator died last weekend, so there's just still this preparation to prepare us for a solid foundation to move forward. And Lord Shiva is preparing your energy to help you move forward with courage, bravery, and strength. And Ganesha will be assisting you with removing any obstacles. And this can be your own stuff, right? It can be your own worries and fears, your own limitations. I find that earth angels, and I always include myself in this, we don't typically tend to take action until we're frustrated or annoyed. That's it. I can't get this out of my head, or I'm so done with this. And then we just kind of move energy and everything comes into alignment. But it doesn't have to be in that place. When we can trust there's the natural flow, when we can see that there's a divine order to things, that we get downloads and guidance and insight and information way before it's actually time to implement inspired action. The seeds in the ground are planted way before we even see them pop out of the ground, right? So seeds are planted, and it takes time to nourish it. It takes time for it to the seed to open up, to germinate, to root into the ground, to build a foundation, to grow up through the soil till when we finally see it. And so we're in the 4-year being 2020, is about foundations. It's about structures. So this year you are mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically building your foundations, and that's kind of that's going to be what is going to be able to hold you going forward. So if you think about a plant system, the roots and how deeply they're in the ground is what is going to support them when the weather above storms, right? So this is the space that you're in. So your fears and your worries and your self-esteem, your worth, your value, your confidence, your spiritual pride, your trust in the divine. This is all being strengthened in this year. And 2020, I mean, we've gone through a lot these last 7 months, but my personal opinion is that this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning of transformation. Seeds are being planted now for really big, powerful growth, but it's not always going to feel this intense, like you're adjusting to these new vibrations. So trust that you're never working alone in these dynamic times we're in. I love him. He's going to be fun to work with. All right, let's see. I love the masculine energy. I'm so feminine. I just love being around the masculine energy. I'm so glad he popped up. So Lord Shiva, what do you need the collective to know about their soul lessons right now? What do they need to know about their soul lessons? Okay, let's see. Okay, so there's a couple here. Interesting. Let's see. Failure and humor. This is what I mean about the dance. What? It's like, so the failure message says, I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn, right? And then the humor, I choose to focus on the lighter side of life. So with regards to your purpose and the way you present yourself in the world, like I said, there's this new activations of energy that's coming in. So the way we approach things, the way we channel, the way we do things, it's going to be very different. It's going to be from that divine feminine essence, which is, it's been out there, but it's been suppressed for a really long time. So ancient wisdom that these wise beings had who were persecuted and even killed for activating their feminine essence, that is reawakening within us. So the thing is, many of you, if you went through the education system that we have now, and that's changing, pass or fail, good or bad, you were rewarded for performance and doing well in the eyes of what the education system gauged as doing well. So A's and B's meant you were doing well. C's was kind of like, do we got to worry about you? And then D's and F's was like, what's wrong with you? Do you need a tutor? You need to do better. You need to concentrate. So Earth Angels have been living in this paradigm of pass or fail, and we learned in order to stay safe, achieve, do well, success, action equals reward. And many of you, because of that fear of failure, have been achieving at high levels, but you're burnt, you're unfulfilled, you're tired, right? You're comparing yourself to other people who are appearing to do better or moving or growing faster. And so there's this fear of failure that could be hanging over your head, which will also limit you from actually taking action. I started to talk about this a little bit last week, and how, the divine is going to start opening up space for you to step into your power, which is going to require a level of action, sitting down and creating a step-by-step process to achieve your goals, moving through overwhelm, moving through fears and doubts and worries. And so I feel like Lord Shiva is saying, but this is the way to do it. It doesn't have to be hard and difficult and challenging. How can you? And of course, there's like the laughing Buddha here, right? I love the laughing Buddha. And also, too, this is heart energy. Green is healing energy. It's heart energy. In order to activate the heart energy, there needs to be an essence of forgiveness, which many of you have been working on, doing inner child work, activating your divine feminine, healing the mother-father wounds. And so they're saying, like, we know it's been intense. We know that you've been squeezed, and you can also have fun with it. How many of you are like over like just the quote unquote work part of healing? Well, I feel like Lord Shiva is saying, I can clear away fears and worries and these these appearance of failures. Like maybe you started something, it didn't work out, or maybe you did something as a child and somebody told you needed to do better or it was wrong. And remember, there's a lot of sensitive souls out there who were programmed at a very young age by bullies, by people who were in their own ego and abused their power. And so you've been transforming that energy. And if you're about to start taking action, if you're about to put your gifts into the world and really say, this is who I am, this is how I feel, this is my mark in the world, Laughing Buddha and Shiva and Ganesh is saying, let's have some fun with it. How can you laugh and play and sing and dance? And that can dispel any fears that come along with or self-sabotage because of the fear of failure. So how can you laugh at yourself? Not from an ego place, but how can you say, let me see here. How can you make light of it? Like, oh, I'm learning. Or how can you, okay, so for example, yesterday I was cooking and I was using some almond milk and I put the cover on, but I put the cover loosely because I knew I was making potatoes. I was making mashed potatoes and I knew I was going to use a little bit more. So I just plopped the cover on because it was hot in the kitchen. And would you know, me and all my in the momentness and cooking and dancing in the kitchen, I picked up the carton and I went to shake it, and guess what happened? The cover flew off and almond milk went everywhere. All over my brand new refrigerator, all over the floor that I just cleaned. And I looked at this mess and I just started laughing. I just was like, okay, that just happened. So this old part of me who was the perfectionist that needed to do things right would have been really pissed, would have been really angry, would have directed that anger and that energy in an angry way. But I could laugh about the experience and I'm like, wow, that was a mess. And I knew when I put the cover on, something in me said, just close it. And then another part of me said, you're going to use it in 5 seconds anyway. Just leave it open. Boop. And what do? I forget all about it and I shake the thing and it goes all over the kitchen. So that's what I mean about like making mistakes and being able to laugh about it, instead of silly girl or that was stupid or that was dumb, or oh, I knew better. Instead of going to that place, I was able to just laugh about it and stop what I was doing and clean up my mess. So that's an example of what I mean about we're going to make mistakes as you're moving through this new energy of uncertainty and unknown. It's going to be trial and error. You're not going to get it perfect. And that's not being me being negative. I'm saying that perfection is a setup for failure. When we're doing something, when we're set out to do something to make it perfect and right all the time without leaving room to learn, which can be mistakes, it can actually sabotage your growth process in the future. So that being said, what does the divine want you to know about your purpose? What does the divine want you to know about your purpose now going forward? Earth angels and purpose. What's the most important thing you need to know? What is being activated with regards to your purpose? I'm going to do one more. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Speaker. Your life purpose involves your skills of oration, speaking your truth. Gulp. Some of you are going to be activists. Some of you are going to be advocates. A lot of you out there who have been therapists, healers, counselors, spiritual advisors, intuitives, social workers, nurses, those of you who have been undercover in the finance industries and the education system, teachers are part of that. You've been in those fields that have been challenging because you're supposed to observe what is going on, seeing the patterns. And it's going to be a matter of time before you start speaking out, before you start using your voice. And this isn't about fighting. This isn't about telling people how they have to be, what they should and shouldn't do. This is about speaking your own truth of, this is who I am, this is what I've seen, and this is what I know. And when you do that, the people who are aligned to that vibration will be called to you. They'll come to you. So as you start writing, as you start putting classes together, as you start doing the podcasts and the YouTubing and start channeling information, the right people will be aligned to you and will be called to you. So often I hear, those of you in session saying, Gladys, your cards, your readings just kept popping up in my feed, or somebody told me about you and then somebody else told me about you, or I heard your name, or you popped up when I was searching, blah, blah, blah. That happens so often because we're aligned. All I'm doing here is saying to the divine, this is who I am. This is what I believe. This is my cause. This is what I want the world to know about. And then all the people that match that come into my vibration, and the divine does the work to bring us together so that we're banding together in oneness. The darkness or the evil consciousness of the world wants you to see one as singular. You're alone and isolated and you're just one person. That's like the ego that wants to cut you off from community and connection. The light, the divine, wants you to see the word one as oneness, expansive, multiple and many. Like the EarthAngel Collective is a vibration of oneness, but there's multiple of us. So if you go to that space of feeling singular or alone or isolated, know that that's that dark part of you that's separating you from the oneness of all that is, that you're never, ever, ever, ever separate. And in that, it will empower you to speak out, speak your truth. Those of you who have been wanting to write, those of you who have been wanting to share your information, I encourage you to call on the Archangel Gabriel, who's the angel of communication. Some of you may need to have tough conversations this week. Some of you may need to stand in your power and speak your truth. There's so much happening in the world right now where people are coming into their power. The challenge is when you believe that you're right and they're wrong, or this has to be this way, that it creates this separate and divide and limiting. If we can just understand that there's so many people coming from so many different vibrations, and as you pull out of that and ask the divine, ask creator, ask the divine masculine and feminine energy, that yin yang, show me where my role is in this, show me how I play a part. A lot of my channel is supporting you in where you're at, without judgment, right? Because there's a lot of things that I've done and gone through and experienced that I wish I didn't, that I wish things were differently. I wish I said things differently. I wish I experienced things differently. But I also learned that it was a pathway to where I'm at now. And I know a lot about a lot of things, but I also too, in the same breath, know I know nothing about a lot of things. So, everybody's in a different place. And if you're trying to compare yourself to somebody else and where they're at, what's going to happen is going to create this oneness of singular, I'm all alone in this. And the light and the divine wants you to come back into the oneness. Oh, that's right. We all have a mission. We all have a job. We all have a role to play on this planet. So additional message here. Author. Yes, this is speaking to the writers, right? Flow. It says you have a book inside of you that wishes to be expressed. Make the time to write it. A lot of you have gone through some really heavy experiences. Addiction, narcissism, what else? Addiction, narcissism, escapism, codependency. These are all vibrations that we're outgrowing. We had to kind of go through them. So a lot of souls, a lot of earth angels were born into these family dynamics that were difficult and challenging, but it actually taught you how to have empathy and compassion and set boundaries and stand strong. If you can do these things with your family or those that are closest to you, you can certainly do it as you're growing and expanding in your divine light and your divine purpose. I'm telling you, this is a calling, my friends. This is a calling to step into your power. We may not be absolutely there yet, but you're getting downloads. You're getting information, activations this next week going into, or these next couple weeks. And so you may be extra tired or you might be up, and just if you can really activate the energy of going with the flow, the feminine energy of the essence of allowing energy to move through you instead of resisting and constricting in your body. So breath work can help. Let's see, I've been talking about with clients yin yoga, and being able to be flexible, but sit in space and become aware of your body, that can be powerful. And there's going to be classes that are going to come out of this. So many of you might be in this space, especially with confidence and worth and value. Oh, there's so many books out there. How could I write something as good as that? Remember, a lot of the books, a majority of the books that are out there are already outdated because they're for an old paradigm that doesn't exist anymore. And so this is why so many of you are challenged with making mistakes and achieving and accomplishing and being perfect and being right, and how that's sabotaging your own progression in putting your gifts out into the world. So let me see. I feel like they're saying this is coming. And Lord Shiva and Ganesh remove the obstacles. Have some fun with it. Have some play with process. And remember, the divine needs you to be open and receptive. The divine needs you to be aware of it, to flow through you, to work. If you are shut down and not open, it's going to move on somewhere else. So open up. That's what I'm getting. Open up. Let's see here. Life transitions. Life changes. What's going on with your life transitions with regards to purpose, soul mission? What does Lord Shiva want you to know about the transition or your life changes as this Lionsgate portal energy opens? It's the most important thing you need to do, Savior. Have. Adult children. Yes. I feel like this goes along with humor, and you're going to be doing some really big adult things. I want to acknowledge those of you who have been really working on your finances. You've been working on your own inner work. You've been creating a solid foundation for yourself. You've been individualizing. You've been setting boundaries. That's the adult part of you. And I'm also feeling in this card, they don't want you to forget the inner child that likes to laugh and play and sing and dance and be spontaneous and adventurous and fun, because really healing can really be work. It can be intense. It can be depressing in the sense that we're not feeling giggly and bubbly and light. And so I feel like they want you to know about life changes, that these are adult things and how we show up in the world, but they also want you to remember that creativity, inspired action comes from a level of innocence, a level of lightness. If you're living all work and no play, you're also depressing and suppressing the inner child that wants to move energy within you. It's making me think of like Play-Doh. When you pull Play-Doh out of the container, it's just this little round blob. And a lot of times, when people play with Play-Doh, they have no intention when they pull the Play-Doh out of the container, there really is no intention on what to make. And what they do is they start pulling it apart. They start rolling it. They start making balls. They start creating with colors. And then eventually it becomes something. That's the beautiful process of marinating and marrying the adult and the child. So some of you may need to actually pull out some Play-Doh. Some of you need to actually explore what that process looks like for you. I mentioned I was coloring a while back, and I noticed that as I was coloring this picture, I was picking myself apart with, oh, that's not the color that I wanted. Oh, these colors look the same. I wanted two separate colors. And I noticed in that moment, I'm like, man, this is supposed to be fun. and it made me just kind of take a breath and saying, okay, let me be divinely guided. And so I paused, and as I chose colors, I kind of just went into my heart. Instead of my mental thinking of what I thought I wanted the picture to look like, I went into my physical body, into my heart, and saying, okay, how do I feel about this color, and where do I want to use this color? And I allowed myself to feel out the experience. And instead of the judgment and the failure and I'm going to make a mistake, it was actually after I was done and looked at the picture as a whole that I was really happy with what I created. But a part of me was like, man, that felt like work. And I could also see the humor in it and saying, oh, that's why I can sabotage. Oh, that's why, right? The failure. So how can I have fun with it? How can I enjoy it and activate that inner child that wants to play and laugh and sing and dance? Some of you may have been raised in environments where you had parents or educators that belittled play, or they called it silly or nonsense or things like that. And so you went into that masculine patriarchal vibration of action and doing and achieving and accomplishing, which really is it's really made the collective bitter and resentful and unfulfilled. And so this is where I feel like this week they want to activate. You're going into this space, and you're going to need to do it through the adult child, the playful part of you. Part of me wanted to look at the bottom of the deck because I've been pulling two cards here. And so, of course, look what came up. Courage. You're going to need the courage and strength. Look, and keep the faith. All right, I'm going to stop. Keep the faith. That's something else that can be in. So again, this is what I mean. Oh, gosh. And here's another one. Take the next step now. I mean, okay, so again, it was just like a quick shuffle. This is what I mean about the divine speaking and opening up. And these messages have been repetitive. I've used so many different decks, and the messages have been repetitive. And there's no coincidence that these three cards here are purple. This is the crown chakra. This is the third eye. We have a lot of green here, which is heart chakra. Here's more purple. So working with these chakras, again, you can open up in so many different ways. If you use crystals, if you use chakra meditations, if you use prayer and meditation, whatever you're guided to open up is going to assist you. So they want you to do it through laughter and play. And some of you have been so deep in the masculine world of doing an action. This is the way it's supposed to be. I need to do something to get something. And what's happening is just burning out the collective. All right. Overall, what overall message do the Lord Shiva and the divine have for you? What's the overall message? One card, please. One overall message for the collective with regards to soul activation and this Lionsgate portal energy that's opening up. I love all the masculine energy that came in. I'm telling you, just came out of the Cancer, feminine emotions, and now we're moving into passion and action, but it's got to be, like I said, inspired action and fun and exciting and playful. Let's see here. All right, overall message. Cleanse your energy. This is where it starts. So this is what the Lion's Gate activation and this portal is doing for you. I almost feel like you don't have to do anything. This stuff is going to come. I feel like this is where you're going. This is what they want you to remember, right? Humor and laughter and play. They're going to activate, encourage with you and taking the next steps and keeping the faith. But this week alone, I feel like it will be about cleansing your energy. I just mentioned this about chakra clearing or working with crystals or connecting with the earth or maybe getting into the ocean or going to a pool. The card says when you release negativity, the answer to your question shines through. That's what Lord Shiva and Ganesha is going to help you with, is clearing out these worries and fears that may be hindering your growth, right? It could be a program of failure. It could be, the overwhelm or getting stuck in process and being able to do these things. It could be the fear of taking the next step. So this week, again, rest. Know that, when it's time for things to happen, it will, and you'll be in it, and you'll be like, wow, look, that just happened, and here I am, and this is what I'm doing. So I would say work with your crown chakra and third eye, because you're going to need to go into that inner abyss. Again, here's the purple again. I'm just noticing that. Here's the purple energy again. So much purple in this deck, in this reading with the crown chakra and third eye. Lord Shiva, he's also purple and green. Green is heart chakra as well. So I would say if you're into working with chakras, work with heart chakra. Heart chakra, forgiveness, acceptance, healing heartache and betrayal, activating deeper levels of love, stepping into the willingness to love in all aspects, partnership. We're in a 9-year cycle of reintegrating the energy of true love back on this planet. So we've been individualizing and learning how to love ourselves fully and completely, right? In all aspects. And in turn, so many of us are aligning and matching partnerships and friendships that it's not like a codependent thing, but it's more of like individuals coming together and utilizing their powers and expanding. It's very powerful right now. So like I said, if you've been feeling in this negative place, if you've been feeling depleted, if you've been feeling angry, the best thing you can do is go lay down on your couch, go snuggle up in bed, grab your kitty or your doggy or your stuffed animal or whatever brings you comfort, your weighted blanket, and give yourself an opportunity to soothe and nurture yourself. You can always ask, if you're into Reiki energy therapies, you can ask Mrs. Takata, right? Hiawatha Takata. I call her Mrs. Takata. You can ask her for assistance. She's one of the Reiki Grand Masters. You can ask Dr. Yusui or Dr. Hayashi. I just call the three of them the Grand Masters. You can ask them to come in while you sleep and rest to heal your body. Invite them in. You can ask Mother Nature to go, enter your chakra system and clear those out. You can go literally to the ocean and cleanse your energy that way. So there's a lot of distortion that's happening right now. It's kind of like you're being spit through a tunnel. And so it's going to be really important to keep your energy clear. But I don't want you to be in fear of this. Oh, I got to clear my energy, or this person's making my energy yucky. And that's just going to make you isolate. It's just going to make you feel alone. It's just going to make you, it may activate that victim energy within. Remember, the energy of the universe is abundant. It's never ending. It's a massive supply. And so if you can shift your consciousness into the one isolation, into the expansive, you'll realize that nobody really has power and control, that it's all experience and it's all lessons and it's all wisdom and knowledge and insight to learn from. And then those things no longer have power and control over you. So, that's a lot. I feel like I said that all in one breath. I talk fast. I know I'm a New Englander. I apologize for that if it's a lot all at once. I'm working on that myself. So let me close space, thanking all your guardian angels and guides, the archangels, the ascended masters, God, source, creator of the universe, and all his holy beings of light that assisted with this guidance. I want to thank the Divine Mother, Lord Shiva, Ganesha, and I'm going to ask that any healing that was started today continue for as long as it needs to be done. And so it is. And those are your messages. So I'm still available for divine guidance sessions, life purpose sessions, combo sessions, all video chat, of course. I probably will not be back in the office for August. Like I said, I'm just waiting to see how this virus unfolds. So I'm still working remotely. I've been getting a lot of emails about my past life regressions, and I can't be in the office right now, or I am choosing not to right now. For me, the liability is still too high, and, keeping people safe and healthy and having a positive experience is my priority. So I'm choosing to stay out of the office because I can't not maintain that. So I am working on a specialty card reading for a past life reading. If you are not on my newsletter, you can go to my website and sign up, and I will put it out on social media when I'm ready to do that. I've been doing some past life card readings with some clients, kind of like seeing how it unfolds, and they've been so powerful. It really is the unraveling of so much, and this will be a session for people who want to go deeper in their healing, and it's very impactful. So I'm still kind of working on the mechanics of it and getting a system. So that's something that will be coming, and that will be another remote session, a card session that will be a specialty session through August. So it'll probably be available next week. So just wanted to kind of throw that out there as an announcement. Thank you so much for watching, liking, subscribing to this channel really does make a difference. The way the algorithms work is that, if you hit that notification bell, you'll get a reminder, or you'll get a notification via email that I put out a new reading. What will happen if you aren't active, unfortunately, with the channel, I'll just go away. I'll plop out of your feed, and then you'll be like, oh, I wonder where Gladys went. Oh, I haven't listened to one of her readings in a while. So that's why. It's the way the algorithms work. So it is beneficial to subscribe. It is beneficial to like the channel if you want to stay connected. Unfortunately, that's just the way the system works. So I appreciate your likes. I appreciate your shares. Appreciate your subscribes. I appreciate you sharing me with your family members and your friends, and there's nothing greater than referrals, and that is like a really big honor for me. So thank you for that. And because of that, I love you so much. God loves you. Trust in the divine, trust your intuition, and I send you love with heavenly hugs. Bye for now.